that is the pop-up, and the problem with the pop-up is it comes up, like, right as we're getting things kicked off, but I've always seen people jumping in, so it's good. Here we go. I'm gonna see if my screen is gonna load. Oh, what, you saw this up by the pop-up 7 minutes ago? I'm waiting to see if my screen actually live sends live. The problem is we've had an issue with trying to shoot live and having it actually show up in the cafe, so I'm waiting to see if we get that to go live. Oh, perfect, perfect. I'm dropping out of the cafe, the Discord cafe now. It looks like we're getting the live to jump up here, so that is awesome. You are gonna see a delay here, so that's not an issue. And hopefully, I'm waiting for the screen to catch up with me. So we'll get started tonight here in just a minute. Obviously, a couple pieces of news coming in on the Discord side, or coming through in the game of Upwind as well. Should have come up not too long ago. Obviously, we had a couple surprises about the mint that's already happened. We had a surprise minting in London yesterday, so it's something to definitely jump into. Obviously, happened just yesterday. 24-hour period on that. Do we had our totem announcement as of yesterday? We'll get into that a little bit as far as chapter 4, as far as what we're looking at there. That vote open, and then of course, getting to get into what we do have coming up here in the next week or so in Upland, with Totem Sale in just over a week, with a couple other things that are happening. I'll get that show started in just a minute as I get a couple things queued up. Beautiful wearables. There's our cafe here, and there's been masters. Perfect. Well, let's do it. Welcome into the Upland. Welcome to the Upland Cafe. Welcome to the Cafe Nightly Show. Today is when sorry, I'm crossing the date line here, but it is still in Pacific time. This the 7th of November. It is 7 p.m. PT, or just after, getting things started here. And on the 7th of November, on Tuesday, let's get things kicked off. Thank you for joining in. Thanks for jumping into the cafe tonight. We'll get into a couple things that we've been looking forward for a little bit. We do have a better definition of chapter 4 as of yesterday. Chapter 4 of the Totem Sale. We'll get into what that looks like, what's going on, what the announcement yesterday was, and a little bit of interaction that Upland's looking for from the Upland community, as we do the get into the chapter 4 of Totems. We'll be seeing how that gets kicked off here in the next couple weeks. We are obviously looking at announcements as of today. The London wearables sale getting kicked off today with 2 new wearables. That is a registration and a sale event. We'll get into the details there. Take a look at those wearables and the announcement obviously the announcement that did come out earlier today. Upland does announce a retroactive some retroactive badge series for Mint Masters. Get into a little bit more on this idea of updating the way minting is done, updating the way Upland views minting, and these city releases, what the test run looked like as of yesterday, and the reality here that it was a test one, and that it does look like Upland is looking at the potential, or looking at the concept of continuing and updating and running these types of events in the future, these types of city releases in the future. So I'm hoping to, and we'll get into for sure what this looks like as far as the future of Upland, future of Upland doing city releases. I'm just looking for feedback that the cafe's up and running just fine. I'm just checking one more place to make sure it is, because I'm getting back feedback. Perfect. Did see I caught up. I do apologize. Did just see that the stream was interrupted, but we do get things back up. And obviously, looking at a couple things that we will be looking at down the line here with the totem sale, and the idea is that we are running through the end of our the fourth sale, obviously within 2 weeks. The chapter five shortly thereafter, and looking at what that cycling is going to be as we do get into the end here, the end of our totem sales, the end of these chapters, and looking at the actual use of these totems as we do move into the future. Looking forward to seeing what that looks like, and of course, as we do so, getting ready to usher in life, getting things started right up front. I do want to take a quick look and get started. Get started with our Mint Masters, which is a new announcement. Was a out of the blue, something that we didn't have any information on as of yesterday, and definitely trying to catch up with this, because it's a little bit of a catch up in that it was something that had already happened, already been cataloged, already been in the books as far as Upland's concerned. Where we did have an announcement yesterday. We did have a mint that came out of the blue from Sunday into Monday was the timing that we had for London. We did have London open, and when London opened as the expansion, we had a 24-hour notice. This was on Sunday at noon, essentially noon PT. We were told that a new city was coming. We were told that London was coming. We got our announcement, and on that announcement, obviously, that expansion was a little bit out of the blue. Getting to that expansion, might as well just take a review there, where this came from, how this came from, and really tying into Mint Masters. This is and appears to be a little bit of a new direction Upland's trying here with these expansions. As we know, there's more and more in Upland being done. As we know that some of what's being done is going away from what we originally had with some of the original minting, or the focus on minting, that was the game of Upland. Obviously, that has changed a little bit. There's a lot else that's happening. We do see that a lot else that's happening here with, there we go, get back to where it should be. A lot else that's happening here with Upland, or with our next layers here of the minting, the availability to do so. There we go. The London expansion finally pop up. With these new layers of these cities popping in, obviously Upland treating it a little bit differently. Upland, kind of sneaking these things in here, and they kind of sneak this idea of a ninja release, this idea that they were dropping this image of a llama in a ninja garb, obviously giving us a hint that something was coming. Something that was coming, obviously Sunday at noon PT. We did have the announcement that we were getting the London expansion kicked off. With that London expansion, obviously we did see about 25,000 properties get released in the game of Upland. That did add and expand London by 18 additional neighborhoods. Things kicked off on Monday and yesterday, the 6th at 9 a.m. PT. What we have seen is obviously that did not mint through immediately. There's a lot of high value mints in the city. There is 3,000 UPX per UP2 in a couple of neighborhoods. We do have some neighborhoods that do have lower UPX per UP2 pricing. But of course, we are looking at this very much being, an expensive city, an expensive tier 1 city with these expansions, especially since we did move into a couple of the more expensive boroughs in the city. We did expect this. We did expect to see pricing pretty high, UPX per UP2. We did expect to see that the pricing of properties was going to be relatively high, even though a lot of them were going to be very small, very narrow cuts. That many of them were not going to obviously support the structures that we had hoped them to support. But again, there was a lot of energy. There's a lot of people who were waiting for a city release, and with a 24-hour notice, it was interesting to see how people mobilized. The limited information was given up front. Obviously, the neighborhoods list was given out by the team of Upland here in the announcement. We can see the list here that Upland had put out. Here's our expansion. Here's the neighborhoods we're going into. Obviously, 9 a.m. PT is when things kicked off. And of course, this was yesterday. The reason why we're talking about it today, that the announcement, is because literally it happened Sunday. The city minting happens on Tuesday. We don't have that week to talk about it. Here we are Tuesday. The minting is 24 hours in. People are still minting. They got things kicked off yesterday, 9 a.m. PT, And we don't have that opportunity to have 3, 4, 5, 6 days to know this expansion's coming like we've had in the past. It is the people who are paying attention to their upland on Sundays, people who are opening the app on Sundays and see that pop up. That pop up says expansion of London. That's who ended up being able to participate. And kind of dovetailing with this, the reason why I bring up the Mint Masters, the announcement of Mint Masters before even touching on this what this expansion was, or while talking about this expansion, is because this Mint Masters kind of seems to tie in here a little bit with what they're looking at. Looking at rewarding people for who come into these expansion, the people who still want to participate competitively, mint as many properties as they can, mint as quickly as they can, mint the big properties, mint the small properties. This idea that they want to keep minting fun and competitive. And obviously, this seems to be like a new direction or a new focus. And with this Ninja release, with the 24-hour of people to being able to plan for the city, it definitely does look like the two go hand in hand, or glove in hand, as it were, because it is something where the excitement of the minting is emphasized by the quickness that's happening. People aren't sitting there speculating for a week. People aren't deciding what areas they want to go into. People just have to react and quickly get in and mint what they can, and be excited about the city as it is. Of the 25,000 properties, obviously 1.1% were FSA, so very limited. FSA was a pricey area. There were 18 new neighborhoods were brought in. There was 6 collections that are in there. So this is still vanilla. So these 6 collections are hiding. If you haven't minted a property and you want to get over there, obviously those properties are still there. The collections are still out there. If you've got your own speculation, if you got your own idea, what might be a neighborhood that is going to hit, what might be a rare street that might hit, it might be something you want to get into. Obviously, you still have time between now and look at likely a week out here on the collection reveal. Um, Again, this is going to be a week that you get between the collection, the collection reveal happening a week after the release. Monday, November 13th at 9 a.m. PT. That's when the collections are going to get revealed for that expansion. Obviously, we have speculation through this week. We have opportunity for people to mint those properties continuing in vanilla over the next week as we do get them through. And of course, coming along with this expansion, there were 8 new landmarks that did come in, or that did come into the game of Upland, and we will see them again get sold at some point here through landmark sales. Though some of the landmark sales have not been coming as rapidly as they had been for a while. Landmarks that we're picking up in London, some big ones, some ones that are household names here. The Victoria and Albert Museum at 2 Cromwell Road. We have the Royal Hospital, we have Kensington Palace dropping in, the Science Museum of London, or it's actually at the UK in London here, getting dropped in. The Natural History Museum, Chelsea Old Church, the Debenham House, and the Holy Trinity Church, all very large, large parts of the London ethos, the London mythos, and big parts of the city, the modern city as well. So pretty cool to get a list of landmarks that somebody who might be familiar with London is going to be excited about seeing, hopefully get represented in the game of Upland. So looking to see these come to the game again. As we did have the collection reveal, we will be seeing for the collection reveal next coming Monday, 8:55 PT, all unminted properties in the London expansion areas are going to get locked. 9 a.m. PT next Monday is when we're going to have that collection reveal like we've had them in the past. What typically happens is, there's that mad dash of people turning around and trying to, buy those properties that people left on the floor. Always a good idea anyways, when you are going into a collection reveal, pulling properties off sale or removing them from sale. If they're sitting there listed, at floor, just removing them from sale. If you think there's any opportunity you could hit collection, you don't want to get stuck selling something at floor price. If it ends up hitting rare, if it ends up hitting exclusive, definitely worth the time and the effort to play around with updating your listings prior to the collection reveal. Again, unminted properties that do match, I'll get repriced accordingly and get relisted. And again, it's usually about 9:30. It'll be about a half an hour in on this sale here, about 9:30 a.m. PT is what we're looking at next Monday, and that's what's going to get hit. Obviously, very short period of time for people to get into London. People did participate. It was something that was, it was pricey. I did get in. You are paying, travel to get in. If you are flying across the globe in upland, you could be paying 2,000, 2,000, 3,000 UPX each way to get to London and to get back again. So definitely was something that wasn't for everybody. But here's the flip side, the part that we didn't know about as this was happening, and none of us knew this until today, and that was that we were obviously participating in a contest that we didn't even know existed, and the contest, like a couple others, like the contest that we currently have. Or waiting on, we've had submissions end, but we are waiting on results on the Master Builders contest, is largely driven by this idea of wanting to build your credentials, build your cred in Upland, wanting to be able to have badges to show what you've done, that bragging rights, because there's no real prizes here except that badge. And again, badges have been something in Upland historically that people really enjoy. People have enjoyed, being able to mark what they did for progress, especially if it's something that they put a lot of effort into, especially if it's something that is a competitive competition that happens in a short period of time, but they want immortalized for forever, if in uplands forever anyways. And that's what Mint Masters is doing. That's what this contest is doing. And as mentioned, that this is something that we have already had start, and we already have winners, and it's pretty interesting and cool to see that Upland surprised us a little bit. They gave us something that we didn't even know. We didn't even know we had. And here it is, introducing Mint Masters. Mint Masters, new tradition to city openings. Again, Upland is continuing to modify how we're doing city openings, how we're doing city expansions, and add a little contest along the way just to make it a little fun. City openings and expansions are always an exciting time for Uplanders, as they have the opportunity to grow their property portfolios in new and exciting ways. Now, dedicated players will be glorified for their successes and their devotion through these events. That's where the Mint Masters comes in. Mint Masters consists of 4 different activities that players can engage in for the first 3 hours. Again, this is something that happens in the first 3 hours expansion. Technically, this period of time is closed. Technically, these winners have already won. And this is something that is going to continue on into our next city expansion. Of every city opening and expansion, giving them the chance to compete and earn exclusive badges. The first Mint Masters actually already took place, like I mentioned, for the London expansion. The announcement of Mint Masters came after that 3-hour period, after the winners were already decided, and without anyone knowing the contest was going on. As a result, participants who achieved victory in any of the activities without realizing it during the London expansion will receive their Mint Master badges. Read on below. Obviously, more details here below. What are the Mint Masters activities? Again, there's 4 Mint Masters activities that are here. In future openings and expansion, we will see these same activities that are going to be highlighted here. 4 different Mint Master activities. In order to win a badge, you will have to be among the top 3 in each of these different types of activities. The time frame for these activities is limited to the initial first 3 hours. So if we're looking at the most number of mints, it's the most number of mints during the first 3 hours. It's important to note that these activities are exclusive to the first minting of each property, and secondary transactions will not count towards any of these. So here we go. These are the 4 activities. The first activity is called Pioneer. This is the owner of the first 3 properties minted will be awarded the Pioneer badge. Again, this is one of those things where once that minting opens, once those properties turn green, people are minting those immediately, as soon as they can, as quickly as they can. And it is always a race. It's always a race to get to the best properties. It's always a race to mint first, because you want to mint where you drifted to before somebody else can mint next to you. So this is a fun way to just have that snapshot. Upland being able to say this guy minted 1, 2, and 3, and it's funny because Upland does say that during a lot of these expansions and a lot of, at least to the last few, a lot of the city releases, they're talking about how many hundred for certain seconds, for some periods of seconds, how many hundred properties were being minted within a single second. So it's going to be kind of fun to see what it looks like that first second, who gets 1, 2, and 3, knowing that there might be another 100 people who are minting that same exact second. The 3 players who mint the highest number of total properties are going to earn a badge for top minter. Again, that's the first 3 hours. So mint the most number of properties in the first 3 hours. And again, that's by number. That's not by value. That's not by the UP2 size. That's obviously going to be by total number of properties. You get a badge for the top 3. Big Fish, owners of the 3 largest properties will receive a Big Fish badge. Again, 3 largest properties minted in the first 3 hours in that city. We can see some pretty pricey ones, especially when we talk about London. Millions of UPIX for some of the largest properties. Kind of a cool way to earn a badge if you're going to buy that property anyways. If you need a property for your large factory, this is kind of a cool thing to get that little stamp on your account forever that you got that Big Fish badge during an initial minting or additional expansion of a city. So kind of cool to see that. Cozy, players who mint the 3 smallest. And this is a fun one. This is just one of those things that people can be competitive. People want to get those small properties because that's the lowest cost in a neighborhood. UPX or UP2. There's not always the same utility of small properties. You can't always do the same things. Now that we have map assets, now that we have different ways to put items on those properties, map assets with your totems, map assets with UGC, being able to put things on those properties, even though you can't construct a structure, it's kind of cool to be able to use those properties for art display anyways. And now that there's another utility, those small properties, top 3 or the 3 smallest properties will receive the Cozy badge during that 3-hour minting period. Always competitive. Those always mint fast. People want to get those small ones. People want to get the lowest UPX per UP2 in a city typically, and people want to get the lowest cost overall in a city. Big goals when people get started in a new city or expansion. The additional mint master details. Okay, so earning that mint badge, each player can earn a maximum of 1 badge for each activity during the same city release or expansion. Theoretically, somebody can get a Cozy badge, a Big Fish, a top minter, a pioneer, all in the same city. They just can't get 2 pioneer badges, 2 minters, 2 big top minters, 2 Big Fish, or 2 Cozy, even if they did get the first 2 properties as opposed to just one of the top 3. The other condition here that's important is if a player achieves a top 3 length placement in the same activity within the same city release or expansion, any duplicate rewards obviously get slid down that list. So you still have 3 winners. You're not going to lose a spot because somebody bought the first 2 or one person bought the 3 largest properties. You're going to go down the list a little further down, and a total of 3 badges obviously get distributed. Evolving the Mint Master badges. If a player wins the same Mint Master badge this is interesting, in a different city release or expansion, the badge will be replaced with a more evolved, updated, upgraded version. This upgrade will reflect the player's expertise in this activity. That's not defined, is it? So this concept is, you could go from a bronze to a silver, from a silver to a gold, from a gold to a platinum type situation. What we've seen in the Masters builders is you end up getting this little number in the corner. They replace the badge, and it no longer says Master Builders. It now says Master Builder times 2, times 3. As you get more and more Master Builders titles, you don't have a bunch of badges there. You have an upgraded badge, and that's what we're talking about here with. If you're somebody who's going to be competitive one city to the next, if you're going to be someone who's pulling the trigger immediately as soon as the city releases, if you want to get the Pioneer badge as you can, if you can every city, you're going to see that badge actually increase in distinction every time, and that's gonna be pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see a little more details on that. It'll be interesting to see what those badges look like, the enhanced badges look like. But again, it's very cool that this is a tradition that Upland plans on carrying forward and plans on giving people that little ability to be competitive each time and be rewarded for that multiple competitive actions or getting lucky, I should say, because the first mint, that is the lucky one, that pioneer one. Everyone's trying to click the button at the same time. Tiebreakers, of course, there's going to be ties. Like I said, people are pressing the buttons at the exact same time. There are properties that end up being the exact same size. There are properties that are going, or there are going to be people who end up minting the same exact properties at number of properties at a certain time, one time to the next. The upland team will randomly select the winners if there are people who do, do tie, and obviously the badge gets awarded as random there. That kind of sets this to Upland is only going to award 3 badges. If 60 people tie, not all 60 people get a badge. That makes sense to me. And again, as long as it's spin a wheel, push a button, make it random, good luck. And I'm glad people tied, but again, keeping 3 each time does make it easy. The London expansion Mint Masters. Again, we already have winners. Congratulations to winners. You don't know your winners until this announcement because you didn't know the contest existed. So this contest was already going on here. The first 3 properties that got minted were minted by Clays, Relix 27, and Pugs 08. Congratulations to you guys for getting that Pioneer badge that will be going out your way. Top minter badge. Again, the most number of properties minted. Dizzy Diskey, not surprising. He does roll deep on new city releases. Seen him do this many times over. Drickus and Meeks 98, the 3 individuals, the 3 minter badge winners. So congratulations there. Big fish winners. Again, these are some of the largest properties, or these are the largest properties that were in this expansion. Kasich Mar, Frank Catman, a name I do see quite a bit, and Twyford, all getting some of the largest properties, to gain the 3 largest properties in this London expansion. And the Cozy Badge, again, this is kind of a cute one because there are small little properties in there. Typically, when there are small properties, there's going to be more than 3 people who get the same size small property. There's usually not that many outliers, or there's not that few outliers, say, where there's going to be a lot of people in the city who may tie. So if there's a lot of people who tie, this is going to be one that often ends up going to random, that random decision. Grinko Star Santa Claus, there's a common name that we know, and P2000 all going ahead and getting that Cozy Badge, likely seeing that being a random draw this time around because there are more than 3 of the same size properties when we look at the smallest properties in the London expansion. So good job there, guys. Again, this is one of those they won without trying situations, but everyone was trying for the same things. I mean, or a lot of people were trying for the same things. They wanted to get a big property to do something in Meta Ventures, or a lot of people did. A lot of people want to get those small properties for the point of getting the cheap properties. A lot of people want to go ahead and get as many properties as they could afford. And a lot of people want to get in there quickly and mint as quick as they could. So there's a lot of things that were happening all at the same time. And there we go. All at the same time, people were competing without even knowing the competition was there. So excited to see that happen. This moving forward in the game of Upland obviously does add a little bit of excitement, does prioritize the idea of those 4 activities, which again, I think people are already doing, but it kind of rewards, the activities Upland wants to see. People want people participating when these first release, people getting in the first 3 hours and, minting as much as they can, as much as they're going to, even as much as they can afford to, is obviously beneficial for Upland. Upland wants to see these releases be successful. They want to see energy continuing to exist when we have these new city mints, these new city releases. So I definitely do see this as something that Upland is likely to continue with. That the Upland is likely to, and looking at this likely being a strong future element of these city releases in the future. So kind of excited to see this happen, of that Upland is doing this, and we'll see this the next time around here, likely with another city release before the end of the year. These are fingers crossed up here. I know a lot of people enjoy it. We know there's a lot else going on in the game of Upland, but there's areas that people would like to see expand as well. We have areas that are having sellouts, like in Tokyo. People were excited to get into Tokyo. Most of the you see most of the properties mint out. If people want to get into Tokyo, people come into the game later. We have a couple things. We have Oni Force coming in, hopefully bringing a little bit of excitement. In Tokyo, as we do know that Oni Force, anime driven community. community that did have a lot of following in Japan. We had talked about this potentially bringing in a new class or a different class of player, different type of player coming to the game of Upland, somebody who's already involved in a community-driven, community-driven NFT type community, and potentially bringing in people from from Japan or from other parts of the world who are already involved in these communities. So it is one of those things that maybe we have more demand for Japanese properties. Maybe we see a future expansion of Tokyo by the end of this year. That's just a possibility. We have no idea where that's coming out here in the next couple months here as we head into the end of the year. The next thing that did come out, not a surprise, we knew it was coming, but definitely worth touching on here. Obviously, is chapter four of our totems. We knew that was coming. We knew that it's on the schedule. We knew that we are going to be headed there at some point. And obviously, we did get the announcement yesterday that essentially you're giving us that reminder. Hey, they're coming. And there's a little bit of specifics here. I will share this here, jumping in a little bit of specifics of what's going on right now. We do have right now a post that's up right now. Here we go. Upland Me Totems, Chapter 4, Conquering the Inca Enigma. The next chapter of Totems is here, and we need your help to decide on the next steps in Miles and Gaia's journey. Please reply below. Should they go up or down to the dungeon? Again, this is something that we have. This is our announcement. We have the Python, we have the goat as our new our new species here coming into chapter 4. But we don't have that full storyline. We're not getting that full storyline because Upland is asking the community to come in down below right here and reply with up or down, letting them know what the community want to happen, and then that's where that storyline gets written. I've been part of a few other projects that have done this. I know there's a couple NFT projects right now that are drawing their storyline. They're using the community consensus to build that storyline out, to build out what is going on in in the evolution of whatever the project is. And in some cases, it has gameplay implications. In some cases, it's just about lore and story. And I think that this might be a little of both. So we'll have to see how this happens. We'll see what our choices unveil here for us. But again, this was something that it's just a little add in here. Upland's going to give us more story, tell us more about what happens, and obviously we have time to do so because we do know if we go look at the upland.me, www.upland.me/totems. This is the easiest place to get what is current, these little small updates from the team of Upland on totems. And again, it's a way to review if you're not on top of totems, if totems haven't been your thing, if you haven't been following along from day one and you want to go back and get some more information, this is a place to do so. So right here we are. If we're looking at upland.me/totems, right here, a countdown clock, 12 days, 11 hours, 19 minutes, 17 seconds. That is counting down to the 19th of November, pushing into the 20th. So 19th into the 20th is going to be a registration period, with the 20th being the sale period. We have seen chapters 1, 2, and 3 sell out and selling out very quickly as far as those passes are concerned. And chapter 4, it's entitled Conquering the Inca Enigma, Unleashing the Power of the Stem Tree. That is the name of chapter 4. But obviously, we still have this locked. Obviously, we don't have that piece of storyline in. We do have the update of the fact that we're getting the goat. If we take a look, we get some instances of goats here. Here's our Python. We get some instances of pythons to take a quick look at. So pretty cool to see those. Looking at some of these different versions of the goat, it's kind of interesting to see the different art styles that come in here. When we say styles and they say whatever the style interpretation is of goat, they really can go pretty extreme. We've seen that with the shark. We've seen sharks that get all mechanical. We've seen the sharks that get short and tall, and the scaling ends up getting thrown off because the style is a different style. So it's really cool to see how these end up getting interpreted. Again, we all know at this point that this is AR driven, how how some of this art is being built. So it's kind of fun to see the rules and how the rules change the art for these individual items. Again, we did have our last gonna be another what goats you get, what pythons you get, and but of course, the first thing we have to do before we get there is get that little bit of story, that little bit of lore evolution along the way here as we move towards Gaia and Miles, bringing life or bringing the so looking at a close off date. Don't know what time that's going to happen. Obviously, people get those responses in. People seeing this on Twitter, seeing this on X, however you want to call it these days, and participating or having responses or sharing that with other people in the community. Again, get people excited. I think that's part of what's happening. Get people excited about the next release, and hopefully we'll get that lore. We'll get that lore sometime before the actual sale, so we can see what that ultimately looks like. What our announcement looks like prior to actually getting that sale to get started. What we did see with this totem announcement or with this update here as well, that uh, the evolution of this is very story driven. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you all want to go up instead of down, and we can get over the bridge like I want to. But hey, it's your choice. I know people have gone both ways. I know people get way too serious about this. Ultimately, it seems like a simple decision, and give us that story and let us know what we did as a community, by making the choice that we made without any evidence or any reason or any any way rhyme to to go and reason this out which way we should. What we do have and what we do know is, like I said, save your UPX, 55,000 UPX, $55. If you want to get one of these passes, you got to get lucky to get them. But the 19th into the 20th, here we go. We can almost guarantee at this point that if we have a reason, if Upland has a reason to sell some wearables, they're gonna do it. And I don't blame them. I don't blame this idea of having these come in. But the one thing they're doing well with the wearables is they are keeping them pretty limited. They are not doing a ton. They're doing them again at a reasonable number of distribution, which is making them rare. So they're keeping this rare here. Here we go. Share the screen here. Let's get that added back in. And there it is. There's our London sale. So on the London sale, I do apologize. It does look like I kicked out, kicked back in. Technology is not always our friend. Streaming third party into the Upland Cafe. Fingers crossed. I know that the Upland is working on direct streaming in the cafe, being able to not have to use a third party streaming platform to push into the cafe. Hopefully, make things work a little better in the future. But technology being as it is, thank you for bearing with it, bearing for the screen to pop back up. London wearable sales here. So if you didn't catch it, if you didn't hear me as I was putting it out there, this London wearable sale obviously is continuing on with tradition with Upland using the wearables as a celebration of new things in the game. Obviously, we got an expansion. Obviously, it is a time and opportunity to put some London fashion in the game of Upland, and these are limited. So I do like them being as limited as they are. They end up showing up as rares when Upland classifies an item, whether it's rare, exclusive, limited, or if it's just a common. And in this case, obviously, this is considered to be a rare, as there's so few of them, and with good reason. Upland doesn't want to oversaturate, or if it's a $15 USD item, which it is, that maybe there shouldn't be a ton of them put out that price. Let's take a look. Let's see what they look like. In celebration, as you can probably see on the screen here. Let's get into the specifics here. We get a Union Jack over here, and I don't know. I think we're looking at a punk here. We'll see how Upland describes that in this announcement. In celebration of London expansion into the royal boroughs of Kensington and Chelsea, we're excited to unveil the London wearables sale. Registration is open now, so if you haven't registered, do register Tuesday, November 7th at 8 a.m. PT. That got started. Tomorrow, the sale starts at 9 a.m. PT, 8 a.m. PT to 8 a.m. PT is your registration period. The sale, 9 a.m. PT tomorrow. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Don't miss this golden opportunity to style your 3D avatar with a delightful British charm of London. Catching my voice here. Sale details. During the sale, players will have the opportunity to purchase one of London wearables on mobile or web versions of the Upland store. Registration opens Tuesday, November 7th at 8 a.m. PT. The registration closes Wednesday, November 8th at 8 a.m. PT. Sale starts again at 9 a.m. PT tomorrow, Wednesday. And this is going to be a limited sale. This is going to be not everybody who wants one's going to get one. Buying the Upix side, I can guarantee that there's going to be more people who want the Upix side than get it. The USD side, maybe not. We'll see. Some of these sales, the USD side hasn't been an instant thing, but the Upix side seems to sell through very, very quickly into the early orders of who gets registered. So there's going to be 75 of these available on the USD side, 75 of these available on the Upix side for each of the two patterns that are available, each of the two wearables that are available. The Union Jack outfit wearable, here it is. Look at that. 75 of those available at 15,000 Upix, 75 of those available at $15 USD. You got to get lucky. You got to get pulled. You got to register in advance if you want to purchase. And of course, you have to have the Upix or USD ready to go when it's your turn, because you may not have that turn very long. You may find it sells out. You can't wait 3 hours to go and mint. Upland has extended the period of time that people have to mint in each group, each of the stages along the way. So it is nice. It is nice that people aren't getting kicked out of purchases while they're trying to do purchases. But it means that it takes a longer period of time to get through everybody, having their order in line. So we'll get into that. Hopefully Upland has updated us here, whether it's a 3-minute or 5-minute interval. The UK Anarchy outfit, the wearable here, obviously 75 and 75, same numbers. 75 obviously making it a rare. Total available of 150. UPX price 15,000 Upix. USD price $15. Excuse me. Uplanders, be sure to get the Union Jack and the UK Anarchy outfits before they do sell out. They did not update us. They didn't tell us whether it's a 3-minute or 5-minute interval, but expect that this is going to be something that you got to be in the top 75. I want to say the top probably 130 on the Upix side on each of these if you actually want to purchase. Totally pulling the 130 out of my butt, but it is going to be something that they're going to sell through relatively quickly. There are people who registered who are going to sleep through the sale. There's people who registered and then decide not to purchase when they get there tomorrow. So we can see that sometimes it's not necessarily just the top 75 in that list who get to purchase, who end up purchasing. So if you get number 100, if you get number 150, still stick around, still see what the sale is, still see if you get that opportunity, what that ends up being for the possibility of where you are on that list, what your opportunity ends up being. Who knows? You might still get that opportunity at 150 if a lot of people are taking a nap in the morning and don't get to their screens in time to click that buy button. On the USD side, obviously take a little longer to sell out, but we have seen these selling out in the queue as well. So do watch out, do participate if it's something you're interested in. Good luck. make sure you do register tonight so you can be in for the sale tomorrow. On those again, this is something that we're going to continue to see happen in the evolution of Upland. We're going to continue to see these sales. I like seeing them. We did just have some new wearables come in, wearables from the Brazil Interactive Fashion Week. Hopefully we have more of these events. Hopefully we have more of these reasons to have these. And I do put that out there that we do see these equal quantities between USD and UPIX. If you get lucky and get them in the UPIX side, good luck to you. You got lucky. On the USD side, obviously, if you want to get them, if you want to ensure you get one, you don't get lucky, you don't get them on the UPIX side, you still have that option to buy in USD. Again, the match pricing, USD to UPIX 1,000 to 1 that we usually have for buying UPIX. That's what's being observed here. Whether Upland changes that at some point in the future, I can't tell you. But again, I do see that as something where Upland's holding that same concept of this would be the same price if you did go and buy the UPIX specifically to buy this item directly. So I do see that something that Upland may continue to hold on to as a methodology here moving forward. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing this as being continued to be there for milestones along the way. I would love to see something to celebrate life. I would love to see one of these wearables for every city that we do get, whether it is an expansion, whether it is a new city release, whether if it's an expansion, if you're going to a specific block set into a new set of neighborhoods, maybe there's a cultural difference in those set of neighborhoods than there is in the main city. Love to see that get celebrated here in wearables, and hopefully that's exactly what we get. Moving on to what we're looking at into the next week and a half here. It is Tuesday, so every Tuesday, I'd like to remind people that Wednesday, tomorrow, we will see the opening of the registration for NFLPA bundles. We have seen on the UPX side, these do sell out. On the USD side, they tend to be a lot more sluggish, whether that's price setting, whether that is how many dollars people have in their pocket, I can't tell you. But again, if you do want to participate on the UPIX side, more than likely you are going to want to register between the 8th and 9th, 8 a.m. to 8 a.m., 9 a.m. PT on Thursday, being when that sale starts for NFLPA bundles this week. So definitely participate if you choose to, if you want to. But if you want to buy an UPIX, you want to buy the game bundle, the pass bundle, guaranteeing yourself a memento pass, you should be making sure you register for it, because those do sell out during that registration period, or during the early slots. Again, 19th to the 20th is what we're looking at for totems. And what we do have, and moving on from there, upcoming, we did just have the end of, and again, it's closed. You don't have the opportunity. You can't participate. You can't go back in time if you missed it. This is the second time it got extended. Originally, it was in the end part of October. Got extended until November 6th, and that was the Masters Builders for Berlin, London, and for Tokyo. Those submissions are in or required. They're in now. If you're participating and you get a note from the team to update your design, read carefully what you have to do, get the update in so that you can be judged as part of the contest. And then we'll be having the availability to vote on these later at the very end of this month into the beginning of December. And then from there, we will have some new structures that will eventually come in the game for London, for Berlin, and for Tokyo. Again, we talk about these things that are perpetual or ongoing or long-term events. We will continue, hopefully, fingers crossed, to see these come in. Masters Builders for each city that comes into the game. Opportunities for people who are in UGC to continue to highlight and showcase their skill. Whether or not Upland changes the prizes for Masters Builders, that's up to them. But they've definitely gone more to a you are winning. You're winning this opportunity to have your art showcased. You're winning this opportunity to choose the name of this structure, and you're getting a badge. And very much the same with the Mint Masters. That's the prize that is enough for a lot of people to participate. There's enough people who are going to spend more OPIX to be part of Mint Masters, I'm sure. To people who are going to try harder to get that that small property, people are going to try harder to mint in that first second. I'm sure that's going to be the case. So maybe that badge is enough here for our master builders as well. So looking forward to that coming in. Again, you got a couple week period here if you are a participant, if you get that message from Upland to update. And everybody who put the effort in to get those submissions in yesterday, thank you so much for doing so. That is what builds out the future of Upland, the future scape, what we're going to be looking at in the next couple years in the game. And I'm looking forward to see these UGC structures be able to have that voting period. Because to be honest, I have enjoyed them. I've enjoyed the detail and the character that gets put into those. And I think the designs are better than what the teams put out in the past. And that's just because obviously people are putting a lot of work into these, and it definitely shows. It definitely shows. So looking forward to seeing those when we get those in a couple weeks. So as of today, thank you so much for joining in. I've had issues with the cafe tonight with being able to keep up with the comments coming in, because I did get kicked out of the cafe a few times throughout the night. I do apologize if you're trying to get comments in. Do always try to keep track of those comments as they come to the cafe. Obviously, as always, before we load things out, did try to get in the beginning. Do want to get it in the end. We don't do financial advice in the cafe here. We don't do game strategy advice. Not telling you how to play in these games, but definitely making sure we're giving the news as it's happening, a little bit of context, of course, as well. And if you can make it every Tuesday here, 7 p.m. PT in the Upland Cafe, love to see you. I'm gonna jump into the cafe layer one here in a second, see if I can be part of that conversation, see if that's going to work out and work well for me. But again, thank you everybody for joining in. Thank you for being here. Working on getting the last of this stream out, and then we'll get things kicked off and I'll get back into the cafe again. Thank you so much. Have a great night, and I'll see you in the cafe here hopefully in a few minutes. If you want more, if you get into the cafe in Discord Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. PT, do have a live show there, but doing the live with the video, with the screen, with the cafe every Tuesday, 7 p.m. PT. See you next week.